Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the penultimate race of the regular season, race 25 of season 4 of the NCAA Duracell Cup Series. The next to last chance for a driver to try and snipe their way into this season's playoffs grid as we get ready to go racing for 70 laps here under the lights in the Foo City Dirt Race at the dirt-covered Bristol Motor Speedway. Should be a good one here tonight. It's called the Last Crate Coliseum, and these drivers, the last couple of times we've been here, they have put on a gladiator-like fight to try and see who's going to be able to make their way into the playoff grid. It's the third time that these drivers will take to the dirt-covered version of Bristol. It made its debut back in Season 2, replacing Lakewood Speedway, another dirt track. And the driver that won the inaugural Bristol dirt race lines up on your pole position. Carter Friesen in the number 37. Friesen right on the cusp of 30th in the standings, the final spot you need to be for a win to count towards a playoff spot. And actually, that 30th position in the points has a much greater bearing here tonight as far as our playoff grid is concerned, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. He's going to be alongside of William Brock. Now, Brock is 34th in the point standings, still looking for his first win on the season. He comes into this race, according to my calculations, 41 points outside of the top 30 in the standings, so he still has a mathematical shot in the next two races should he win tonight to get up into the top 30 in points. Another thing that works in his favor is his Northeast Motorsports teammate, Arthur Xavier, won the non-charter qualifying race earlier on this evening, so obviously some data and some information would be passed over to the 88. Benny Watson, another driver that's trying to pick up his first victory on the season. Should he do so, he would more than likely lock up a playoff position regardless of what happens next week at Auto Club because he is 10th in the point standings, so high enough up there above a number of one-time winners, but he has to find victory lane. Alongside him is Jesse Turner, a driver that's already locked in 2 trips to victory lane so far this season, and he's going to try and look for his series-leading third win on the season here tonight. Michael Norman's going to complete the top 5. Michael Norman, another driver that's trying to find his first trip to victory lane this season, 25th in the standings. So right now, you got 4 drivers up inside the top 5 that might be taking the green flag here this evening in desperation mode. Let's talk about the playoff grid here real quickly. Right now, 16 drivers that are locked in. We've got 8 of them, 8 of them that are locked in with 2 victories. Right now, we've got a total of 6 drivers that are locked in with 1 win apiece. And then we've got 1 driver that's in a little bit of trouble that we'll keep an eye on here tonight. So the 2-time winners that at this point in time are already locked into the playoffs include your points leader, well, actually co-points leader, Adam Garcia and Jordan Lopez. They come in tied for the points lead right now. Mitchell Collins, Nathan Ormond, Jesse Turner, who we just mentioned, T Wright, Cole Deaver, and Ryan Butcher. They all are currently up inside the top 20 in the point standings with 2 victories, and it looks like mathematically they cannot fall outside the top 30 in points. They are all locked in. J Millz, who we saw pick up his first win on the season last week at Pocono, he's all but locked himself up a playoff spot, 5th in the standings with that trip to victory lane. Dylan Young, Ryan Brommer, Keith Batson, Charles Belding, and Zach Rogers right now all hold playoff positions. They are all up inside of the top 22 in points. The driver that would be filling out that 15th position as a race winner would be Patrick Smith. But last week, after the hardships of Pocono, he dropped 3 spots in the standings now to 31st. So currently, he is not on the playoff grid. He is only 7 points behind 30th in the standings, so if he can make up those points here tonight and be inside the top 30 heading into Auto Club next week, maintain that spot, he could still have a playoff position, provided we don't have a different driver go to victory lane here tonight. And of course, that final position in the standings right now in the playoff standings goes to Chris Dullerton, not in the field here tonight, but does have the 10 starts required and that Manassas win in the Charter Series back earlier on in the season. So the 15th spot in the playoff grid right now goes to the driver highest in the point standings. That would be 4th in points and defending winner of this race, Carson Gum, will be rolling off from the 10th position here tonight. Should Carson go to victory lane, however, he would leapfrog a number of one-time winners and solidify himself a spot in the playoffs. Other drivers that would fit that criteria, as we already mentioned, Benny Watson, Jack Mitchell, as well as Levi McIntyre and Jacob Thibodeaux. Should those 5 drivers, any of them go to victory lane tonight, they would pretty much lock themselves up a spot in this season's playoffs. All right, I've hit you with enough numbers and enough data to be able to set the stage for tonight's penultimate regular season race. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, and get these cars to racing here at Bristol Dirt.
Drivers, start your engines!
Take a look down in the description below for your full starting lineup for this evening's festivities. As mentioned, K Friesen, the initial winner here at Bristol Dirt, the inaugural winner, and Karsten Gum, the defending winners. So Chevrolet, so far, is the only manufacturer to have gone to victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the dirt-covered Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, I mentioned the fact that this track replaced Lakewood back in Season 1. The winner of that race, if you want to count that, would have been our defending Daytona 500 winner and two-time winner this season, T Wright, in the 28. Here we go, Bristol Dirt ready to play its part into the playoffs. K Friesen and William Brockett is underway. Let's roll. See the visibility problem right out of the gate there in 1 and 2 as Benny Watson waits no time. He'll go to the inside of K Friesen and he will lead the first lap of the night. Zach Rogers in that bright blue Bang Energy Dodge Challenger. He just slotted into third position. Michael Norman going the wrong way as he'll lose fourth to Levi McIntire. And now fifth place under contest, Charles Sandfer going to take the position. Obviously, this has very little bearing on the fact that it's an entirely different surface, but this is the second time that these drivers have been to Bristol Motor Speedway this season. They were at the asphalt-covered version earlier on this year before the All-Star race, and T Wright was the winner of that one. It's where he picked up his second win on the season. So he's trying to go for the proverbial Bristol sweep, if you will, as Levi McIntire saw his teammate J Millz pick up a victory last week at Pocono, which now means 3 of the 4 Blue Oval Automotive cars have gone to victory lane. Levi McIntire trying to make it a perfect 4 for 4. Caution is out as we saw Phil Parker in trouble back there in the middle of 1 and 2. Benny Watson will take the caution flag, and looks like some of these drivers back here having a bit of a disagreement of where they need to be. Some picked up by the pace car, some not, as Phil Parker sits on pit road, so they'll have to get this all organized. A little bit of rear end damage on the 14 of J Gardner. Don't know if he might have gotten involved in whatever the wreck might have been. They'll get themselves situated out here momentarily, as Watson has picked up the pace car. So let's go back, take a look and see who brought out the first caution of the evening, less than 10 laps into tonight's race here at Bristol Dirt. We're going to go all the way back here to the exit of turn 4. That's kind of where it culminated. Cole Baker in the 11. Going to get Austin LaPlante in the left rear quarter panel. Sends him down to Phil Parker. Now, they keep it together here at this point in time, but that's a very shallow entry for Phil Parker to enter into turn 1 with. He's going to drift up the track and just clip the back of Cole Baker. That sends his machine up the track, hard into that outside wall with both the rear and front end of the machine. A lot of damage on that right front. It drifts back down the track and then could not get the car refired, so that's why they had to throw the caution. You saw the leaders kind of entered into the vicinity, almost hitting the back bumper of that Old Spice Ford. And tough break there for Phil Parker. Still looking for his first Duracell Cup Series victory, and very good when it comes to dirt track racing. But unfortunately, Bristol bites him here early on in this one. Number of your race leaders were on pit road here under this yellow flag. Looks like about maybe 9 or 10 drivers electing to stay out. So M Haas will inherit the race lead. Patrick Smith, who we mentioned needs a good points day, going to be in second. Jordan Lopez, two-time winner, third. Adam Garcia there in fourth. That's your co-points leaders right there, the 38 and the 23. Of course, that very important 15 bonus points for the regular season championship up for grabs right now between those two. Ryan Brommer, Cole Baker, Ryan Butcher, Jack Mitchell, and J Gardner, I believe, were the 9 drivers that stayed out. William Brock, who was the first one off of pit lane, will restart back in the 10th position in front of Benny Watson and Levi McIntire. Got some drivers that are trapped off the lead lap here as well, based off the timing of that caution. So that's going to make things very interesting for us to try and figure out here during the course of this racing. R Acosta, J Llamas on that inside line there, as well as the damaged machine of Phil Parker. But it looks like everybody's going to be taking the green flag here for the restart, and we're already 3 wide. R Acosta wasting no time going around the wounded 74 of Phil Parker. Now Acosta trying to get up there to the 8 of M Haas to get his lap back. Right now, 23 drivers on the lead lap. As Adam Garcia, 3rd place driver, trying to go around Patrick Smith for 2nd. And you got to go all the way back to, I believe, the 38 of Jordan Lopez before you find the next highest driver. Actually, make that the 9 of R Brommer, who right now is in 4th place. Look at R Xavier, Will Goss making his 3rd start on the year. And last week's winner, J Millz, mixing it up for spots inside the latter half of the top 20, or top 30, that is. R Xavier, our winner from the non-charter race earlier on tonight, now going to rough up the 2nd place running Patrick Smith. M Haas has now let by a couple of drivers. J Llamas, Austin LaPlante, and R Acosta. Now R Xavier. These drivers are looking up and hoping that the flagman will have a caution flag in his hand, because they would then be back at the tail end of the lead lap. Will Goss about to get his lap back here, and he will do so. M Haas trapped on the top side going towards the back. The driver he has to worry about right now, I believe, would be the 28 of T Wright or the 23 of Adam Garcia, who have both been able to find their way down to the inside line of the racetrack. J Deaver is going to get his lap back there. Charles Belding looks to do the same. Dylan Young trying to cross over to the inside but can't do so. And here comes the 28 of T Wright. Battle for the lead is on. And T Wright is going to take the position leading that lap. So now he's the one that all these lap machines are gunning for. Got a number of drivers come to pit lane there under that caution. That's what trapped a lot of them a lap down, because they slowed behind the pace car, came down pit lane, and then when the pace car came around, they came out behind said pace car, and that trapped them off the lead lap. So hopefully most of these drivers are going to be able to remedy that situation, get maybe a caution here to get back in the lead lap or something like that. As battle for second place is now on. Zach Rogers getting around Adam Garcia. Charles Sandfer now looking for 3rd, and Matthew Rodriguez, who's looking for his first win since all the way back in Season 1 at Arizona. He's now completing the top 5. N Ormond in 6th position. He's a former winner here at Bristol last season, but that was the asphalt-covered Bristol Motor Speedway. As T Wright going to work on putting some of these machines back off the lead lap. He just got around J Llamas, Dylan Young moments ago, and now V Almariego next on his hit list. Right now in the 28th position, and now only 27 drivers will be on the lead lap as T Wright completes the pass. Charles Belding, 15th in points, our winner from Pukaca. He's going to try and pinch the 28 down, can't do it. T Wright just way too fast there, able to hook that inside line. He's got about 0.7 of a second and 2 lap machines between himself and Zach Rogers. Now, I was going to mention, remember that we had a number of drivers come to pit lane, including some of our race leaders, and they came down, only 8 laps into this race. So I don't know if necessarily all the drivers that stayed out can make it on fuel, or even if those drivers that came down pit road, if they're going to have to pit one more time. That's going to be an interesting thing to follow. What about the guy that was up front early on in this race, the 75 of Benny Watson? Where is he at right now? He and William Brock battling for the 11th position. So they lost out on a ton of track position, and subsequently they are outside of the top 10. And Levi McIntyre, who was also up in that conversation, he was one of the drivers that unfortunately got trapped a lap down. Right now he is scored in 28th place. Carson Gum and Carter Friesen, the pole sitter, they are in 36th and 37th. So that caution did not work out for either one of them as well. Now with T Wright up here leading this race, that is good news for drivers like Zach Rogers and Patrick Smith, because a multi-time winner would stop them from being knocked outside of the playoff grid. As a matter of fact, with Zach Rogers running in second place as well, N Ormond in fourth, that puts the odds up of another multi-time winner of a driver that's already won going to victory lane. Wouldn't change much as far as the playoff grid right now. The driver they have to worry about would be Charles Sandfer. Sandfer, on the other hand, though, would have to not only win, but make his way up into the top 30 in the point standings between here and his home track next week of Auto Club. And he is right now a total of 22 points outside the top 30 in the standings. N Ormond has now moved up into the fourth position, and he is trapped on the top side with the lap machines of Dylan Young and last week's winner, J Millz. J Shelton now up into the top 5 in the fifth position. Shelton is a total of 52 points out of the top 30 in the point standings. Still mathematically possible, but really needs a lot of help here tonight with a victory and a good run next week at Auto Club for that possibility. As T Wright just continuing to pick him up and put him down. He got around Cole Deaver, got around R Xavier, putting them off the lead lap. Now sets his sights on the 48 of Austin LaPlante, who does have some damage. We are more than halfway through this race. T Wright certainly would not want to see a caution flag at this point in time, as he has built up over a second lead back to Zach Rogers. Now looking in terms of the lap times right now, T Wright is beating Zach Rogers by about 0.4 to half a second each lap. That time by another 0.4 faster. Or actually, correction, a tenth, actually. I was misreading 4/100ths. That's my bad. As teammates right now going to battle for the first car one lap down, 25th place, R Xavier and Austin LaPlante. Both former winners at dirt tracks. Xavier winning the non-charter race earlier on tonight here at Bristol Dirt. Austin LaPlante, a former winner last season in one of the Chili Bowl heats. Charles Sandfer is closing in on Zach Rogers, so that would be the battle for the second position. And just behind J Shelton, you've got a couple of drivers that are having some solid outings there. Matthew Rodriguez right now in 5th place. He just got around N Ormond for that spot, and then Ormond looks back in his rearview mirror and sees his teammate J Qualls right now holding down the 7th position. And how about Zach Stoltz in the 44, highest running of our non-charter drivers? He's right now in 8th place. Matter of fact, very good performance here tonight for Dodge. They've got 5 of the top 10 positions right now, with Rogers in 2nd, Ormond, Qualls, Stoltz, and Brommer holding down 6th through 9th. And Benny Watson has now cracked back into the top 10, but I don't know if he's even got enough time to be able to get up here and take the race lead back from T Wright. N Ormond and J Qualls trying to make their way around traffic in this battle for 6th. Matthew Rodriguez going to take the 4th position from J Shelton. Charles Sandfer within striking distance of Zach Rogers, who in turn is within striking distance of T Wright, who might have had a little bit of difficulty getting around the 74 of Phil Parker. What was about 1.2 seconds between the top two has now been closed up to less than half a second, and now T Wright's been kicked up to the top side, courtesy of R Xavier, so Zach Rogers might have a look to the inside here into turn 1. Got a car down there on the apron coming to pit road. That's Jack Mitchell, Cole Baker, Ryan Butcher, Adam Garcia, Ryan Brommer. These are drivers that did not come to pit road, folks, back under that last caution. And they stayed out 8 laps extra than the rest of these drivers. So these drivers, I think, cannot make it the rest of the way on fuel. This could be a very interesting race here, a Bristol dirt race that comes down to fuel strategy. Are you kidding me? And throw a blanket over our top 3. There they are. Dodge, Ford, Chevy Rogers, Sandfer, and T Wright. Sandfer going for a 2-for-1 special. He got around T Wright for second. He looks to take the lead from Zach Rogers, and he will do so. And this is going to be interesting, too, with drivers merging back onto the racetrack with oncoming machines. Bristol's not exactly the most spacious of tracks. Several more drivers on pit road here, as Charles Sandfer, now your race leader in the Reese Chevrolet, with less than 20 to go. Here comes Zach Rogers and T Wright to pit road. We got a wreck. Caution is out. Untimely yellow flag right in the middle of green flag. Pit stops. This going to change up a whole lot. As Sandfer takes the caution, a number of drivers were on pit lane and will subsequently be off the lead lap. We might see some wave arounds, we might not. But according to right now, last time by scoring, only 7 drivers were on the lead lap, and maybe the only drivers in the conversation for the win here tonight at Bristol. Mitchell Collins was the driver that was up against the outside wall, bringing out this yellow flag, and that was right in front of the race leaders yet again. Less than 20 to go here at Bristol Dirt. Charles Sandfer, Zach Rogers, and a few others will get to come down pit lane here under caution to make their pit stops. And we're going to have to kind of figure this all out here when we come back. For now, we're going to go back and see what brought out our second caution of the night. And boy, it is a doozy of a caution in terms of its timing in the closing stages of this race. Mitchell Collins in the 22, third in points. Watch up ahead on the bottom of your screen. That's Carson Gum and Ryan Butcher. Oh no, Jack Mitchell just runs him over. 22 might have been thinking about coming to pit road. Ryan Butcher got in the wall there as well after the contact between him and the 19, but I think Mitchell might have been trying to come to pit road, or make that Mitchell Collins rather, and then Jack Mitchell had already made a pit stop and just maybe couldn't even see the 22 through the dust. Spins him up the racetrack, and as we said, that was right in front of our race leaders. You saw Charles Sandfer and Zach Rogers going by just moments ago, so that could have involved some of our race leaders, but gracious, we've got drivers up inside the top 10 that are currently scored a lap down. Let's try and figure out all the fallout here from this untimely yellow with less than 20 laps to go here tonight at Bristol Dirt. Alright, so I'm going to try and unravel this whole kerfuffle, if you will, here. Right now, we've got 5 drivers that have a shot of winning this race that were all scored on the lead lap at the timing of that yellow flag. Charles Sandfer, the race leader. Zach Rogers will be second. Third place will be J Shelton, Tristan Allen in fourth, and Benny Watson in fifth. Those drivers all have the legitimate shot of winning this race. Just up ahead of Charles Sandfer, you've got J Qualls, Matthew Rodriguez, and Zach Stultz. They are scored in 6th through 8th. And they will more than likely finish this race somewhere in that vicinity. They will battle for 6th, right in front of your race leader, Charles Sandfer. Everybody else is a lap down. T Wright and Pedro Lucas completing the top 10. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway here at Bristol Dirt. Nobody out of the race up to this point. But basically, you just got to look on the top left of your screen, try and figure out who's battling for what position up here inside of the top 10. It's a fight to see who gets to the inside line here between the 0-3, 6, and 0-2 as they're 3 wide up ahead of them there with Jordan Lopez in the middle. Trying to look back, see who the first car to drop to the bottom is of our top 5. Nobody yet. Sandfer, Rogers, Shelton still stuck up on the top. Same for Tristan Allen and Benny Watson. Whoever gets to the bottom first is going to have the advantage, that's for sure. Watson tried to slot in front of Levi McIntyre, couldn't do it. Sandfer might have an opening here to the inside line, but Ryan Acosta drives it in deep. Sandfer has reached the bottom line, though. Tristan Allen was able to do the same back there in the 15. Now Sandfer's got to defend that inside line here as we're at less than 10 to go. 3 wide behind him with Michael Norman and Ryan Acosta. They're battling for position. Tristan Allen in the 15 has gotten around Zach Rogers for second place. Shelton's now gotten to the inside line. She'll take third from the 6. Tristan Allen hoping that Charles Sandfer gets kicked up the outside line, and he has. Sandfer on the top 3 wide. Tristan Allen Could he be looking for his first Duracell Cup Series victory as a non-charter driver? He'll drive to the inside of Charles Sandfer and take the top position out of turn 2. Tristan Allen's making his 7th start of his Duracell Cup Series career, and he might be looking for his first checkered flag. He cannot make the playoffs. He would not have enough starts, even if he started next week at Auto Club, to reach that criteria. But he'll be 5 laps away from possibly his first victory of his career. He's got to keep it down the inside line, though, because Shelton has gotten around her teammate Sandfer for 2nd place and is only about 4 cars back from the 15. So far this season, DCW Racing has 1 victory in a charter race, courtesy of Dylan Schwallenberg, who, with not making tonight's main event, will not be in the playoffs. But 2 non-charter drivers out of the same team could be looking for their first career victories this season, and it could be taking place for both of them at a dirt track. 3 laps to go for Tristan Allen. He looks back, sees Jessica Shelton a car behind with teammate Kyle Mathews in front of her. Tristan Allen, can he hold off this 0-9 with 2 laps to go? Kyle Mathews might be trying to help his S3 Motorsports teammate Shelton pick up her first win on the season if he can get to the inside of the 15. Not able to do so here. Shelton's actually going to get to the inside of her teammate. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go at Bristol Dirt. Shelton's within striking distance. Can she drive to the inside here into turn 3? Is she close enough? Tristan Allen looks to slam the door. Shelton is there, but not going to be able to get to the inside. Tristan Allen's going to get his first career win. It takes place tonight in the Food City Dirt Race. Becomes the 5th non-charter driver to pick up a victory in a charter race behind Chris Dollerton, Dylan Poteet, Michael Wayne Robinson, and his teammate Dylan Schwallenberg. Tristan Allen will not, unfortunately, with this victory, be able to make his way into the playoffs, with this being only his 8th start on the season. But he will be heading into a full-time ride next year in Season 5 of the Duracell Cup Series as a former Duracell Cup Series winner. Jessica Shelton's going to bring it home in 2nd, her best finish of the year. Benny Watson, victory lane continues to elude him despite what's been a very consistent season. He'll finish in 3rd. Charles Sandfer will bring it home in 4th, and Zach Rogers may have just solidified himself a spot in the playoffs now with this 5th place run. James Qualls will finish in 6th, Matthew Rodriguez 7th. They were the last 2 drivers to finish on the lead lap. Levi McIntyre will bring it home in the top 10 in 9th. V Almariego and Cody Llamas going to complete your top 10 here this evening. Pedro Lucas, Zachary Stultz, a couple of non-charter drivers as well, finishing in 11th and 12th. Trey Wright with 13th, Carson Gum and Ryan Acosta in 14th and 15th. Now, Carson Gum right now, I believe, still would be the highest driver in the point standings without a victory. Where did Patrick Smith bring home his 77? 39th. That will not move him up into the top 35 in the standings. So right now, I do believe that 15th seed in the playoffs still would be held by Carson Gum, based on the fact that Tristan Allen, who cannot clinch a playoff spot tonight, won this race, and Patrick Smith will not be up inside of the top 30 in the point standings. So Carson Gum's going to be on pins and needle points heading into next week at Auto Club. If a multi-time winner, or even just a former winner from this season, wins next week, Carson Gum could be locking himself into the playoffs through points. But if we have a different driver go to victory lane that's up inside the top 30 in the standings, they are in. Carson Gum is out. That is going to be a nail-biter next week, but how about DCW Racing rookie Tristan Allen picking up his first career Duracell Cup Series victory here tonight at Bristol Dirt? What a tremendous feat for him. Couple of untimely cautions really shuffled the field up, but Tristan Allen was the first one to get to the bottom. He reaped the reward, and he is the one celebrating in victory lane here tonight. Congratulations to him. And boy, this is going to make things interesting going into our season finale next week at Auto Club Who's in, who's out, who's got a shot? We'll fill you in on all of those details after the fallout of Bristol Dirt here tonight when we head to California next week. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's race under the lights at the Last Great Coliseum. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and convert the crew today. We have shown you full feature results. These are what the point standings look like heading into next week, and we will tell you what the playoff grid looks like when we get ready to take the green flag next week at Auto Club. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its Best. We'll see you guys next week at the regular season finale.